Xavier, interesting business. First of all, describe the conditions of your typical customer in Africa.
So my typical customer lives on, say, $1 to $4 a day per member of their household. They're typically burning kerosene, which is jet fuel, for light rather than because they don't have electricity.
So they've got generators in their houses.
Yeah, they may have to walk 3 miles to charge their phone, leave it with someone all day, go back at night and get it, and have to pay for that privilege.
And what do they end up paying for that? You know, what's the average cost for the average consumer in Tanzania, for example, of that kerosene experience?
You know, it varies widely, but I've seen up to $1 a day. So I've seen people paying $30 a month to burn jet fuel in their living room.
These are not people with the capital to buy a solar panel that costs. Your solar panel costs about what? How much?
So we don't even sell it as a product. We sell it as a long-term lease because typical system would cost maybe $1,000 or more because you have to get a battery, you have to get electronics, you have to get the lighting. So
Inverter.
We've been able to radically reduce the cost on our side by buying in bulk.
So is the basic idea that you're following essentially a solar city model, which is you own the product, they rent it from you for a certain period of time, and then it reverts back to you?
They actually own it at the end. So
Okay.
we do a 10-year period where they will own the asset at the end of it.
And so how's that work? So they pay every month?
Yeah,
utility?
even every day. So it behaves much like a utility. And we've got this down the price point as low as $7 a month for solar in the home.
Interesting. And so what's the uptake like? I mean, is it hard to convince them? What's the sales process like?
Oh, it's the easiest sales. I've been in business a long time. Easiest sales pitch I've ever seen. Do you want electric light in your home? Well, yes, of course I do. But my problem typically was you couldn't afford it. And so now we say, can you take the money you're already spending on kerosene, on charging your phone, and spend that instead on solar? Light your whole home, charge your phone off the wall, listen to the radio, maybe watch a little TV.
Imagine. The payment infrastructure, does the payment infrastructure exist in these places? How do you get paid and how does that work?
So that's what's so cool. So Tanzania is ahead of us in mobile payments. Everybody, even if they don't have electricity in their home, has a cell phone, and there's an incredible network of mobile payments distributors. So they just send us money over their mobile phone. We send them a text message that unlocks the system on their wall, and then their lights go on.
And this is a for-profit enterprise, not the African nonprofit model that we've seen before.
No, this is a for-profit enterprise. We're incredibly motivated by the social impact of what we're doing, but we think it's a huge commercial opportunity. You have more people off the grid today than when Edison turned on the first light bulb. 1 in 5 people in the world, and they've been incredibly underserved.
Wait, there are more people without electricity now than there were when Edison invented the light bulb.
Isn't that crazy?
That makes sense, but I wouldn't have thought of it that way. That's interesting.
Yeah, you know, William Gibson said the future's here, it's just very unevenly distributed. And I think electricity is the ultimate example of that, where it's not even a second thought for us in the studio. But for people, most people in Africa, a lot of people in India and other places in Southeast Asia, it's still unattainable.
And do the communities change? Do you sort of go community by community? How do you pick the places where you want to be doing your business?
There's so many people, so where we work, it's 90% off the grid. So 10% of people are on the grid, 90% are off. So anywhere we go, there's huge demand for the service. So we roll out geographically. And we've seen as high as 30–40% solar adoption in the communities we've been targeting, which is part of the reason everyone's gotten so excited about this.
And probably